In a recent report produced by CoreLogic, it highlights the housing market's reaction to pandemic lockdowns. Auction outcomes have gradually become more favourable to sellers through lockdown across Sydney, but longer social distancing periods had a far lower average auction volumes. This is presumably a result of vendors and agents being more selective about the kinds of properties that we're confident in taking to auction. This also is reflected in the lower rates of properties passing in, along with a larger number of cancelled or postponed auctions. More properties are withdrawn through lockdowns, as well as lower numbers of properties listed with an auction campaign. A higher portion of properties were withdrawn from auction altogether in periods of lockdown, either transitioning to private treaty listings or a pause in the campaign. Relative to the previous 5 years, the portion of withdrawn auctions has remained elevated in Melbourne and was somewhat elevated in stage 2 restrictions across Sydney. A higher portion of properties sold prior and sold after auction during lockdown for Sydney. The proportion of properties sold prior to auction increased from 23% over the past 5 years to 28% during the stage 2 restrictions and 35% for the 2 weeks ending 4th of July. Across Melbourne, the portion of properties sold prior to auction also increased with each lockdown. Agents may have adapted to getting deals done prior to planned auctions, which may have become easier as property market conditions began to recover from October 2020. Through lockdowns, transaction activity has been more volatile than sales values. From March to April of 2020, which coincided with the onset of stage 2 restrictions nationally, the volume of sales fell 33% across the country. The enormous decline in the number of sales was not only because properties became more difficult to purchase, but the initial economic shock caused by COVID-19 lockdowns may have lowered price growth expectations and pessimism around real estate performance. On ground level, as we speak, we're receiving strong inquiries across all of our properties due to a lack of stock. However, as each week passes that we're in lockdown, we have more sellers holding off from selling. This, coupled with us heading towards the typical spring selling season, we fear that a flood of stock will come to market and therefore a potential adjustment in property prices. If you're thinking of selling, now is the time to chat. We have a proven plan which will assist you in navigating these times. As always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you out and about.